Hello and welcome to the Long Island weather update. And we're a little late tonight. I want to get the latest models in, and you can see not a whole lot going on. We've had some on and off downpours, some scattered downpours. Some of these are heavy. They're very brief, but they started in around late this afternoon to early evening. Very widely scattered and very brief. But the heavier rain is off to the west. Take a look at all this heavy rain that we've got over Pennsylvania. Actually, that is not Pennsylvania. That is West Virginia and Virginia. It's like a nice little line of storms over there. And this is all kind of moving off to the east with this big storm, this big low pressure area. You can see looking at the satellite, obviously plenty of clouds. No bright whites over us, but you see the bright whites off to the west. Let me go and show you the CONUS view of this so you get a chance to look at this big storm. And again, there's your tropical moisture feed right there. And you can see it right there, so we'll draw that. Tropical feed right there from the tropics. Look at that. It's coming right from, actually a little bit from Pacific too. Crossing the Gulf, picking up even more moisture over the Atlantic. And seeing this again, another big storm. Again, this is something we've been seeing all winter long because we have those warmer than normal oceans that fuel bigger storms. So there you go. That's what it looks like on the satellite. And see how much lightning these cells are producing over to the west, because there was actually thunderstorms over Baltimore, it looks like, and yeah, some over parts of Virginia as well. So this is all going to be shifting off to the east. And if we go to our weather and hazards map, you see there's actually a tornado watch in effect for parts of Virginia and North Carolina, and there's one severe thunderstorm warning in there as well. And then we've got flood watches and warnings up for parts of western Pennsylvania into Ohio, and going closer to our area, you'll see that there is a wind advisory that's in effect. So, wind advisory is going to be in effect from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Well, it's not a long period of time, but it is a period of time that we could see that, and gale warnings also, because we're going to have to deal with some strong winds with this storm. All right. So going on right now, temperatures have been rising throughout the day. So we're going to go over here, and you can see the winds are starting to pick up now. And we're starting to see gusts up to 33 miles an hour and 31 miles an hour at JFK as we're getting to that LLJ. With a little, again, in those showers, the winds could pick up even stronger. But this is just the beginning with the winds. This is just the very beginning. I don't see an observation for a buoy here, which I would have liked to have seen. Let's see. We got a buoy here. That's showing a wave height of 5.2. I'm sure it's going to come way up. But you notice the temperatures have increased from earlier. So looking at Farmingdale, for instance, I'll show you what it was earlier. So temperatures were in the mid-50s, and they've actually been rising slowly. Dropped a little bit, but now they're rising again. The dew points are rising. It's getting humid out there. The air is getting saturated, and we're getting into that LLJ type of event that we have. 55 at Islip as well, with some light rain falling as well. And I'll load up the observations on here as well. And they don't want to load. I'm having some internet problems tonight, so you're going to have to bear with me. Maybe storm related, I don't know. But you can see the temperatures kind of climbing. Yeah, they were in the 50s, and they see that starting to rise. We did actually have some breaks of sun, a little bit breaks of sun in some parts of the area. So we'll go look at the highs across the area. Now, Jersey was a lot warmer. You can see it's already pretty warm there. I see a 61 at Miller Air Park with a dew point of 59. They got up to 70 degrees there today. We didn't get quite that warm on Long Island. We'll start with the lows first. Nothing really remarkable here. Upper 40s, well above normal. And then highs still above normal, though. Close to 60 degrees. And let's see, 65 in my area. No surprise. Mid-60s for central Nassau. Further out east, cooler on the South Shore with mid-50s. And then looking into Jersey, yeah, once you head inland away from the coast, though, right at the shore it was cool, but once you go a couple miles inland, close to 70 degrees for much of at least the southern part of New Jersey. Further north, it was a little cooler. But like I said, we've got temperatures are actually going to be rising through the evening. We have a lot of this very humid air, so I'll just put dew points on the screen to show you the humidity here. You can see all the humidity that we have. All these dew points in the 60s. So we got a lot of tropical, juiced up tropical air that we have coming into the area that's going to bring some of this heavy rain overnight. Good thing is it is an overnight type of deal. That's the good news. Now let's see if the Weather Service put out a briefing for this storm, and I don't think I see one here. I do not see one. Here's another look at the radar, and again, you can see some of these showers, and they actually come down pretty heavy. It doesn't look like it on the radar, but the droplets are very small, and the radar has a tough time with it because these are tropical type of showers, and they're actually heavier than they appear on the radar. So let's take a look at the observed weather for today. Islip got a high of 58, a low of 49. The high was 1 degree above normal. The low was 9 degrees above normal. Puts us 6 degrees above normal for the day. Central Park, 61 degrees for a high, 50 degrees for a low, 4 degrees above normal for the day. I want to go back to that weather and hazards map. So I'll bring that back up for a minute because I want to look at wind gusts and see what other areas are gusting to further to the west. We'll see where where there's tornado watch is. And it looks like we have wind gusts up into the 50s. It showed for a minute. Here's one for 40. So this gradient's actually going to tighten as this low moves off to the east here that we have. Well, the flow is up in the Great Lakes, but this is like a front that's along it. And there's been a lot of rain dropped in a lot of areas in the south. You notice a lot of flood warnings along the rivers. We're going to show you how much rain they've gotten in the past 72 hours here in the south. Your jaw's going to drop here. Take a look at this. Parts of Louisiana, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, and that's why you got these flooding. The flooding on all these rivers. There's a lot of flooding in the south along these rivers, and there's a lot of freshwater flooding going on in these areas. This also goes into Alabama, southern parts of Alabama, and into southern parts of Georgia. And this is the kind of moisture that we're working with this system. So I wanted to show you that. I almost forgot, but I did want to show you that. And again, you can see what's coming our way. Looks like a real slug of rain. The good thing is it's going to be happening overnight. So let's go look at the models now, and we'll just briefly show you the GFS here. Our low pulls up into the Great Lakes. You see that tight pressure gradient there. It actually deepens even further into tomorrow. So it's going to actually deepen further, and that wind is going to be an issue as a result of that. And it will be remaining a little on the unsettled side through Saturday because of that. So slight chance of showers. But I'm mainly going to talk about the weather tonight through tomorrow in this weather update. So let's start with the NAM. We have enough of the 0Z NAM, and I wanted to really look at the NAM first because you can see some of that heavy showers and thunderstorms here that are going to pop. Look at that. It actually pops a line right over us, like 2 a.m. perhaps. Could be an intense, severe line with that. That looks like a real heavy line. That moves through, and then we have scattered showers, chance of scattered showers, and maybe even a thunderstorm even throughout part of the day tomorrow. It actually shows another batch popping up in the afternoon, perhaps. And these could, again, be pretty, these could be intense. They look pretty heavy. This is the instantaneous precip rate, though. I want to actually look at the radar simulation. All right, though it's fairly similar. There's that line. Again, it's showing that line around 2, and then it's showing that scattered activity again. And this second batch here, because the sun's going to try to come out. We have a very unstable atmosphere tomorrow. So if we look here at this, oh, that's really unstable. So you can see there's a big drop in the dew point with height, and that is going to mean a lot of instability. That's going to mean a lot of instability, and we're going to have to watch for the thunderstorms even through tomorrow, perhaps, with this instability that we have. So I wanted to take a look at the NAM. As far as the amount of rain we're going to get, because it's scattered in nature, probably won't be. Oh, it's gone a little higher now. Some areas could get almost 2 inches of rain. It all depends on where these storms hit. And I say we may have to deal with another 2-inch of rain because these storms keep overperforming because the models can't handle the additional water vapor that's in the atmosphere because of the warmer than normal oceans. We update them, but we just can't keep up. And so that's why we overperform on a lot of these storms. Now let's go to the HRRR, and I'll go to the 0Z HRRR. Also showing, actually, not that impressive. It actually, that second batch actually seems like it creates a little more upstate. Not as impressive on the HRRR, but I think the HRRR is a little dry. I think most places are going to get over an inch of rain. I really think that'll be easy. That'll be an easy over an inch, I think, because we have all this tropical moisture. Look at these very high dew points. It's very humid. You see that southeasterly wind That's going to continue. And then as we get into tomorrow, it becomes southwesterly, but the dew points don't drop all that much. We still have that instability in the air because remember, the low is over here. So we still have the southwest flow. The low center is still over here. It's not until Saturday that we start getting into more of a westerly and drier flow. But for tomorrow, we're still staying a little bit on the moist side, and that's going to help destabilize things further. So temperatures for tonight, we're not going to drop. Temperatures will be increasing into the 60s. Jersey, you're going to actually be rising into the mid 60s probably. Long Island, with the south wind, probably upper 50s to low 60s. And you can see that's going to start off for some warmth. And the rest of the day tomorrow will be a little bit on the warm side. 60, probably low 60s for temperatures. That's what it looks like right now. Getting that out of the way. And again, we have a lot of instability, so I'm actually going to want to take a look at some of these soundings. Let's do it in the afternoon. I'm going to put it over Ocean County. You can see, yeah, that's unstable right there. That's definitely unstable. So, yeah, there's a decent amount of instability here. And actually a little bit of Cape, too. So in the afternoon, believe it or not, we might see some activity. Saturday will be cooler, but tomorrow we'll have stuff to deal with that instability in the air and plenty of clouds. But let's now focus on the winds. All right. So we're going to go look at the, well, this doesn't provide the, yes, it does. The LLJ. Here we go. So here's the LLJ. LLJ enters our area probably around midnight or so. And any of these showers and thunderstorms could bring strong winds down with that LLJ. That's why I have that wind advisor. And you can see the east end, that LLJ is going to continue until probably noon. And then it's going to start getting better. But there will be an LLJ there, and some of that could come down to the surface. And of course, every model, that's the HRRR, which is tame. But if we go to the NAM is always scarier with that LLJ. So the NAM is always way more intense, and it's got some white areas. That's not good. And again, the NAM is a little, I think, on the extreme end, but you know the potential's there in a shower of thunderstorms to get wind gusts possibly of 60 miles an hour or better, perhaps. And that's why we might see some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Actually, speaking of that, I want to go to the Storm Prediction Center and see if they've put us in any kind of risk zone for tomorrow. All right, nothing for today, but let's see. We're going to go to the day 2 here and see if they just got us in a general thunderstorm. But you can see just off to our west, we've got that risk zone. So it's close, and that's why I'm concerned about this. And you can see, again, there's that white that you're going to see, those strong winds. And that is going to cause issues with the... I don't think this one does wave heights. This one doesn't do it. The HRRR does them, but not this model. I have to go back to the HRRR. So if you go to the HRRR here, and we look at the... One of these models does it. Well, I guess this one doesn't do it. I think it's the GFS or whatever. You know, we'll visualize this in another model. Obviously, we'll go to the RGEM next, and I usually don't use the RGEM for skies. But we're gonna go. I usually use it for skies, but we're gonna actually use it for some of the other things here. Let's go and look at the wind, A50. All right, we have the A50 up, but let's go to the surface now. This is the surface wind. Doesn't look too bad, but I think it'll be worse than that. That's why I don't running the surface wind, because it's very deceiving when you look at that. Like, oh, it's just over the ocean, but no, it's going to be more than that. But I will go look at the skies here, just to show you. We'll plenty of clouds around, but there will be some breaks toward the afternoon. That could help to stabilize the atmosphere and cause some more, perhaps some thunderstorms develop later in the afternoon, perhaps. Let's now go and visualize the storm with Ventu Sky. This will be a lot easier for people to visualize the effects here. And we go and look at the wind gusts here, and we'll move this over to tomorrow. And again, we'll go to 1 a.m. You can see the wind starting to gust close to 50 miles an hour here across many parts of Long Island. Southeasterly winds. And this, with a southerly flow like this, you can see it's prolonged too. 4 a.m. still in the LLJ. 7 o'clock, it finally starts moving off to the east. This doesn't look terrible. This doesn't look as scary as the NAM model. This is the HRRR model, so it doesn't look as bad. But I think these might be a little too conservative. And again, it all depends on the thunderstorms. All right, it all depends on the thunderstorms. We'll go look at Cape now, and you can see the Cape is mainly over New Jersey. You can see that. 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But look at this. So this Cape building over eastern PA and New Jersey, 11. And yeah, it actually has Cape along this line. So it's thinking that the second line that comes through in the noon hours could actually be the one that could actually bring some more intense storms out of it. It's mainly west of the city. But you notice it has our area and some Cape, even Long Island. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of instability in the air. We could see chances of more thunderstorms during the day. So see though, look out for those billowing cumulonimbus clouds. Yeah, it's only April, I know, but hey, this is the warmer world we live in now, right? Waves. This is the other concern that we're going to have. Obviously, high surf. It looks like the HRRR has toned it down a little bit, but still, South Shore dealing with a high surf. With this storm, and it's just going to, create more beach erosion and more problems for the South Shore when it comes to this. However, I want to go over to the windy.com site because the windy.com site gives us some more models to look at as far as the wind goes, and we're going to go to the wind here, and we're going to just switch this over to the NAM because, the NAM is crazy, and we want to look at that. So the NAM, these are sustained winds in the 20s, but if we move this over to wind gusts. And I know I've got to go in here and I got to change something here, right? So it's annoying. They changed the way this whole thing works. It's so annoying. I got on the menu. Yeah, that's what I got to do. Go to wind. And I got to go to wind gusts. And the NAM is just scary. 59 miles an hour. I think this is overdone. 65 miles an hour. 56 miles an hour. This is overdone. Because this is 9 o'clock, and if the NAM was right, we'd be seeing wind gusts of 58. So the NAM is definitely overdone with the wind. And we're not seeing wind this bad. So, that's why I said let's not look at the NAM here. We'll go and look at the European model. I think that's a little... I just wanted to use one of the European suites for the thing. It says wind gusts of 41. So, yeah, the winds seem to be... the worst of the wind would seem to be in that overnight. Yeah, 50 mile an hour wind gusts. That's not good. That's not good. And then we're still going to have breezy conditions throughout the day. And it's still going to be breezy. And then we still have that instability that we've got to worry about. If we go, there's a thunderstorm thing on here, too, that we can use here. If we go back to all, and we go to thunderstorms. Let's go to this here. We'll see. It'll show if there are any thunderstorm conditions here that pop up. This isn't a short-range model, though, so keep that in mind. You can see definitely has some over New Jersey. So this is New Jersey probably has a better chance of seeing some. Oh, look at this. So, again, this is 4 a.m. That has a good chance of getting a thunderstorm around this time. Look at that. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. over New Jersey. So it's showing the rainfall amounts from these thunderstorms. They could definitely, cause some flooding. So, yeah, this is going to be a very unusual storm, and I still can't be sure exactly what this thing is going to do. But just be prepared for it to overperform, and be prepared that there could be some power outages as a result from the storm. We'll go to Power Outage.us and just show you what the storm has done so far. You can see it's already knocked out power to 12,000 in Virginia, 26,000 in North Carolina. So far, New Jersey, New York, not too many outages, but that number is going to grow as this storm gets closer, and we're going to see the effects of that. So we'll probably have updates on the storm. And again, these thunderstorms that could develop later on could be pretty menacing. We'll just go over to the Mount Holly here so you get an idea. I'm going to move this over here a little more. You can see all these coastal flood warnings in effect. So coastal flood warnings in effect for a lot of these areas and flood watches. But I want to go closer to that line so we can just show you that line. All right, this is the line right here. And that line right there, you see. Go to the high res here. Just show you what we're dealing with here because, radar not available. That's not good. Well, we'll take a look and see what happens with that line. But luckily, this is happening when most people are going to be home. But it's going to cause some problems. Could be power outages. Definitely going to have thunderstorms. Again, a wind advisory is in effect from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Here's the wind advisor again from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. tomorrow. All right. And isolated gusts of 50 to 55 miles an hour possible, maybe even 60. And the rainfall amounts, again, I think we're going to get at least an inch, possibly. I think some areas could see 2 inches or better. Definitely this is going to put a lot of people over their allotted allotted rainfall for April already. So, going for every month this year has been wet, and April is no exception. The wetness continues. So, that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Have a good night.